Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we start off a brand new month here in the month of June, continuing our tradition of talking about sci-fi 1980s horror movies that it came from outer space, part 3 month. Now we're doing this month a little different because we usually talk about the alien creatures invading Earth during this particular month, but we are actually going to be exploring the great unknown known as space. Viva 1980s, some B, some not B movies here on the Retro Blood. It's going to be a fun one. I can't wait because we are starting off hot. All right. If y'all like a young Freddy Krueger fighting himself, full of energy. If y'all like a stash dude, all right, Colbrin, going out there, conquering his fear, and becoming Master Viva 1980s lasers that come out of his belly for some reason. If you like a crazy captain, don't call me, what's her name from Alien? Rila. All right, don't call me her.
Ripley. Yeah.
Ripley, yeah. Yeah, don't call me Ripley. Who shoots laser beams at a video game, the whole movie, and is so crazy that she opens the door and gets burned out, and so there goes her character. And for all you fetish people out there, all right, who dream oh so slightly of maybe one day getting raped by a maggot alien creature, then this is the film for you, brother, because the Retro Blood is talking all about Galaxy of Terror. J.H. Alison, James Kline, what's happening, Alison? How was your journey into the unknown? Were you able to escape the maggot rape?
I did escape the maggot rape, but it was this whole trip was fantastic. I have wanted to do this movie since we started doing this show.
Yeah, so first off, this is my first time watching this movie. All right. And I thought it was fantastic. I loved it.
This movie is great.
Yes. Now, I didn't realize all the behind the scenes stuff. All right, but once you start exploring it and stuff, you can realize why it's really great. All right, so so this one, we'll talk more about it when it comes to who booked this shit. But obviously, this one is a Roger Corman production. You know what I mean? Mr. B himself over here. Yep. And obviously, when you're watching this movie, I had two thoughts in my head. First of all, I was like, okay, I know for a fact this is gonna rip off Alien somehow. All right.
Yeah.
And number two, I was like, okay, maybe it has a little bit of Star Wars references in it too. You know what I mean? Because those are the two hot properties of sci-fi around this particular time of the 80s. You know what I mean?
True.
So obviously, we had Star Trek and stuff. So we had a building ground for sci-fi stuff. I did not realize that our boy James Cameron, Mr. Terminator, was in this movie. Like he kind of did the set designs, the production. All right. One of his first films that he did too. And a lot of people compare this movie to Aliens, I should say, because James Cameron is the one who produced that, and he brought a lot of his ideas that he learned from this movie onto that set. Yes. So a lot of people do compare and contrast, which guess what? The Retro Blood this month, we might do that too, because one of the movies on the docket is Aliens. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun for us to do Aliens at the end of the month and then compare how that movie looked to this one.
Yeah. Now, on that note, The set designs out of this was fucking awesome. I was like, God damn, this is. I mean, for a low budget B movie that's trying to rip off Alien a little bit, I was like, God damn, it looked fantastic.
I was gonna say this movie looked like it cost 10 times the amount of money that it did. Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously they were going off the Giger work that was in the first Alien with the kind of like the way the structures were and stuff. But you know, a lot of the jetpack, I thought the monster creature looked really great. You know, obviously very good 80s slime. And like a really interesting cast too, when you look at it. It's kind of like a very weird ensemble cast in this one. Yeah. Now, some of the storyline was a little out there with the master and the red sun, and then the old lady was there for some reason. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was very fun, and it's one of those ones where like, man, like I thought this was a great, like, I wish they kind of would expand upon it a little bit, you know what I mean? But I liked it. I thought it for what it was, like a 1980s sci-fi horror film. I mean, it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it had like a lot of cool parts to it, which we'll obviously talk about it here. But very, very fun backstory when it comes to this film as well too. So when did you first watch this film? Do you remember?
Oh God, when did I first see this? Probably early 90s, I would say. It's one of the first time I'd seen it. I think I saw it on a bootleg.
Yeah, this is definitely
maybe more like mid to late 90s when I first saw this, because I think I'm pretty sure I bought this on a bootleg at a convention.
Yeah, this is definitely one I would put on my rotation. You know what I mean? And then, like, even if you played it on a party, you're like, hold on, guys, check this scene out. You know what I mean? With the maggot. I didn't, bro, when that scene happened, I didn't know what to think. Like, I was like, did I see that right? So I don't do this a lot, but I actually rewound it. Yeah. And I was like, am I looking at this correctly here?
It is pretty shocking if you don't know it's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, then that happened.
Because, you know, we've seen females get, you know, absorbed by creatures before.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we've seen them being absorbed by sharks. So when we did the Shark Week and stuff. So it's kind of creepy I thought at first the maggot would just like, gonna like, just, you know, obviously grab her and then eat her and digest her. And then I was all like, it was like a process it was going through. At first, that's what I thought. And then I was all like, oh, wait a minute. This maggot is doing God's work over here, and he's getting this hot girl naked. I was like, good job. And then it started to get a little more Japanese anime. And I was like, you know what? This is a little weird. Especially at the end where it's like, giving it to her and he stops. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. And then I had to rewind it. I'm like, yeah, I did see that.
You did? Yeah. That actually happened. Hell?
And the backstory of that's pretty funny, which we'll talk about pretty soon as well, too. But yeah, really fun movie. Definitely one to put in your sci-fi collection. All right? I definitely recommend that. So, but I say let's get into it. We're not going to do a history segment here because there's just way too much to talk about when it comes to this particular movie. So we will start off with who booked this shit, brother. Okay?
Yes.
So this is a New World Pictures movie. All right. It was obviously produced by Roger Corman, which we talked about many times here on the Retro Blood. All right. Obviously one of the great producers of his time when it comes to, I don't know, B-horror movies that it kind of gets the most out of the B-horror movies, I would say, out of almost anybody. You know?
Yeah, I would agree.
So it had a couple different titles, but the ones I found obviously was Galaxy of Terror. And then it was originally released as Mind Warp and Infinity of Terror. There you go.
I don't like the Mind Warp name. No. I like Galaxy of Terror, and Infinity of Terror is fine, but it's too long. Galaxy of Terror is perfect.
It's perfect. You gotta make it simple, man. Don't make this shit hard.
Don't make it confusing.
So this was directed by one Bruce D. Clark. All right, so he's the one that did some directing on it. And I mean, there's so much to talk about, but we'll get right into the some of the production. Then we'll talk about the cast. All right, so the biggest, okay, there's a couple things. So basically, during this time, Roger Corman was known as the B movie king guy. All right.
Yes.
And apparently, I didn't know this, but doing some more research, apparently, when the script for the original Alien was being written and stuff, they actually sent out the script to be produced by Roger B. Corman. All right. But before Roger could sign on to it, because he wanted to do it, that's when Fox took a hold of it, and they are the ones that produced Alien. So basically, Roger was like, well, fuck. I'll just do my own then. Galaxy of Terror, brother. All right. And so it's one of this earlier, this is like one of the most earliest works also too of one James Cameron. All right. Which obviously would later be known for like the Terminator. You know what I mean? A bunch of fucking movies.
Of course. Yeah. And he had worked for Corman before on Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yes.
Which is a really, really good movie. Much more family friendly than this.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, he did the production designer and the second unit director of the film.
Yeah.
All right. So they're working obviously on a tight budget, like they always do. Cameron's involvement filming techniques came to the forefront. In one scene, Cameron was able to figure out a way to get maggots to wiggle on cue by developing a metal plate onto which the maggots were placed, then ran an electric current through the plate whenever filming began, causing the maggots to move electronically about. His ability to find low-technique solutions to such problems reportedly made him a favorite of Corman and eventually allowed him to pursue more ambitious projects. So, there you go, man. And, like, it was crazy because apparently, at this particular time, James Cameron, man, like, he wasn't getting a whole lot of work. I don't know if he even had a job or not, but so basically the Corman pretty much, like, started his career.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Corman absolutely started his career, but he basically he worked on sets.
Yeah.
He wasn't a film director at this point. Like nobody knew of James Cameron as a filmmaker. He was a guy that worked on sets.
Yeah.
He had worked on a few movies. He would go on to direct Piranha 2 pretty soon after this, maybe the next year.
Yeah.
But before that, I want to call him like a special effects guy, but he wasn't really a special effects guy. He would design sets, and he would make the set look good, which is what was really great about this movie.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, definitely. Okay, the look and the set designs of this movie were crazy. Like, it was just for a low budget film, and just the design of it. Like, you can definitely tell that they, obviously they were going for more of the Alien look. You know what I mean? With the kind of work and stuff. But he did it in his own way where I feel like it wasn't super ripping it off. And it kind of like expanded on it a little bit. In some sense.
Especially like the scene near the end where they're walking across that bridge that's supposed to be over that really deep cliff or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I watched that, I was like, well, how the hell did they do that? Because Roger Corman filmed all of his movies basically in a warehouse. Like, he had a warehouse that he would film all of his movies in. And I'm like, how the fuck did they do that? But he it's an optical illusion. Like, he painted it straight across the floor, but he painted it to where it looked like it angled down, which was just kind of cool. I mean, it's pretty a genius thing to do.
Yeah. Definitely. And I mean, obviously when it's showing up his talents and stuff, that's where he kind of expanded it from this movie, which is crazy.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the fun stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about Taffy O'Connell. I said it right.
I have no idea how to say her name, so that's as good as any. That's Taafe.
Yes. And the worm scene of how it came to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So O'Connell, she played the Dema character. All right, Dema.
It's Demella, I think is how it's said.
So basically, the story is that the production company told Corman, and everybody that they wanted in this movie, they wanted to incorporate a slimy monster and a sex scene. All right. So he knew he had to have a slimy monster, which was the maggot-looking creature, and he knew he needed to do a sex scene. All right. But he didn't know really how to approach, O'Connell with the sex scene because of the agents and everything like that. So he was just like, well, you know what? Why don't we just combine the fucking two? Because he thought it would be so ridiculous, all right, that this monster is sexually abusing this girl or whatever, that it would just be like, people would just be like, what the fuck, all right?
And before, I was going to mention too, so Corman is the producer, but he got financial backing from people. Yeah. Who wanted a slime monster and a sex scene.
Yes, exactly.
And this is kind of things that people don't think about now, but that's kind of how movies were made back then. Like you would go and on low budget movies, you would get people to invest in your movies, but then they would have like things that they wanted in it, so that you would have to change your movie, which is illustrated really well in the Ed Wood movie, where he's trying to get money to from the Baptists to make his horror movie, and then they want all these weird things in it. So the sex scene was never originally going to be in the movie, in the original script. He added it because he had to get the money to make it.
This is what it says over here. So producer Roger Corman had promised financial backers of the movie a sex scene. All right. In early stages, the sex scene could have involved either the Aluma or the Demena character, but Moran chose to have her character die violently. All right, that's the one that was like the girlfriend of Colden, and she got wrapped in those wires and her head blew up. All right.
Yeah, she played Joni on Happy Days.
Happy Days, yeah. I thought that scene was going to go totally different than it did.
Totally different way.
All right, but I was like, okay. So they wanted to lead the sex scene to O'Connell's character. Corman rewrote O'Connell's death scene so that she would be comfortable by a monster. In this case, a 12-foot, 3.7 long maggot complete with slime and tentacles to represent both her fear of worms and her fear of sex.
Yes.
So apparently her character had a fear of sex, which I didn't really get.
They don't really explain that, or really the explain of worms either. But I guess that's something we're supposed to get out of that. But yeah, it's like an excuse me. But yeah, it's like an id monster, so it's like fear that came out of her, her mind or whatever. But so Taffy O'Connell probably, so Erin Moran was like more of a known actress. She had been in Happy Days.
Yeah. So
I'm guessing that the reason this happened was because she had more of a control, because she was a bigger star at the time. Taffy O'Connell had been acting since the 70s, but she'd only ever made one movie before this. Yeah. Which was New Year's Evil.
There you go.
Which we've also done on the show. And that was the year before. Yeah. She was in New Year's Evil and this. But yeah, so I thought this was really well done. Yeah. Like it just looked good. Like the slime all over her looked great. But
yeah, the acting and everything. So they rewrote, including a full nudity and full more explicit sexual content, including simulating sexual intercourse, during which Demena would be seen and her reacting first with terror, then forced sexual arousal to the monster getting her. Demena would perish as the monster drives her to fatally increase intense orgasm. So basically, they were trying to, at first, like, do the whole thing with the orgasm, her, getting pleasure out of it and everything. All right. But then they eventually kind of cut it down a little bit, you know what I mean? To kind of make it a little bit quicker. All right. So it says over here, after informing director Clark and actress O'Connell of the changes and having both of them balk, Corman decided to direct the worm scene himself. So there you go. He hired a body double, if it suggested in a shout commentary of the film that it was Layla Lambuk to shoot the full nudity scene. Yeah. In the release film, the worm scene, as it's shown, is a mix of shots with O'Connell and the body double. The completed film was submitted to the Motion Picture. Oh, this must have been fun. The Motion Picture Associated Film Rating System for review. While the MPAA did not specifically exactly what it gave the rating for, the film was initially given an X rating. Gee, I wonder why. They got an X rating. I don't know.
I was going to say, they didn't tell you what it was for, but I bet you can guess.
Where is that review at? It's like,
I bet you can guess.
There is certain scenes within your particular film production that may be not appropriate for kids, even though everybody's playing a kid game, apparently.
So my understanding is that is how the ratings board works. They don't tell you why they give you the ratings that they do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been able to trick ratings boards because of that. But I think that's hilarious. It's like, we're not going to tell you why we gave it an X rating, but I bet you can guess.
So they gave it the X rating. All right. And they kind of claimed that it was both the girl scenes for the violence. And so the one with Oluma was supposedly the violent sounds of bone crunching.
Yeah.
If that's why we're going to give it an X rating. We can't have that bone crunching, brother. All right. I bet whoever did that report was like, I can't just tell them about the fucking monster rape. I got to make something else up.
I got to add something else to it.
You know what I mean? So apparently they removed the bone crushing and they took out some more of that sexual content. So it says Keyser in the film's commentary stated that he then had to go back and remove anything sexual explicit enough to earn the X rating. He removed any erotic looks on O'Connell's face as she was being, played with the maggot. All right. According to the film's documentary, Keyser also removed any suggesting of humping moments, which I kind of saw a little bit of those.
I think there's some still in there.
Keyser words, he made all these little snips of film, removing these aspects, resubmitted the film, and the rating was changed to an R. There you go. The film cuts were anywhere from about 1 foot of the film, less than 1 second, down to a single frame. The final release scene in the film in VHS version still contains segments with O'Connell's facial expressions and side views of her body double moving up and down underneath the worm, indicating that cuts were probably made in or around those sequences. I'm not sure whatever the one's on Tubi is the one that I watched.
Yeah, I mean, that's the version that Shout Factory released. So that's like the, I mean, there is only one version of this because it's saying that the final released scene in the film and the VHS versions contains those things.
Yeah.
So there is only one version of this, but so basically the director and O'Connell were like, fuck that, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
So they hired a body double for the nudity and, Corman directed it himself.
Well, remember also too, especially during this period of the 80s in filmmaking, if you got an X rating, I mean, you might as well just go to the fucking peep show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like we've talked about before, there's a huge overlap between the porn industry and the horror movie industry at this time.
Yeah.
So they were made by some of the same people. And, so microphone fell over. So you got at this time you kind of had to watch that. You could, you're right. But if you got an X rating at this point, your movie was doomed. Yeah.
I mean, it's a B movie. They still want to make money out of it. So you're going to have to cut it down to at least get an R rating, So basically, several countries still found this too explicit and either required the worm scene to be cut short or deleted entirely. Gee, I wonder, England. Okay. Or even denied the film a theatrical release outright. All later authorized VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, Steelbook release of the film in Europe, America, and elsewhere contained the scene as it was released in its final R-rated version. The X-rated clip material themselves were lost over time and are not included in any releases. However, there are red band trailers still in existence that hit at some changes made. One made when the movie was still called Mind Warp. Shows cutoffs from the scene with O'Connell's voice the same as in the movie, but also has sound effects of her uniform being ripped. Those sound effects were removed by at some point. A second trailer, made for Galaxy of Terror, has a title. Shows the same sequence without the clothes ripping sounds and with another actress's voice screaming. But trailers visually have one sequence that may be slightly longer than the same sequence in the movie, indicating that one of the clipped sequences. So there you go.
Now, I know we kind of glossed over this, but let's think about this for a second before we move on. So this scene was in the trailer for this movie.
Yeah, brother. How do you think you're going to get people in the building?
I mean, that they used this scene to sell it. Like, you know, when people went to see other movies, they saw a trailer.
Yeah, brother.
With a worm having sex with a woman in a movie.
They're like in 1981. They're like, hey, brother, y'all heard about that movie with the hot blonde getting raped by a worm?
You got to see this.
You got to see this shit, brother. You know what I mean? That's like come on. That's like some promoter stuff, bro. We see that time in wrestling and everything. You know
that's
what I mean?
Carney shit right
that's
there.
Carney shit. I like it. All right. All right, let's see what else it says on here. So the worm scene can be seen again in part during the opening credits of a later Corman-produced film. The 1988 remake of Not of This Earth, directed by Jim, was it Wernitzky? And starring Tracy Lords.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the content of the film, but is a part of a montage from earlier Corman films showing during the opening credits. The audio in the Not of This Earth version is done by another uncredited actress.
And we will be doing Not of This Earth at one point in the future on It Came from Outer Space.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, apparently, Corman, bro, he went crazy of doing these fucking space movies.
He loved them. Yeah, he loved them.
I mean,
well, I think that also, like, you got to understand, you know, Star Wars came out and changed the world. And this movie would look fantastic if you'd never seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but once he found James Cameron and he was able to do these space movies and make them look good, he's like, yeah, let's do more of this shit.
Yeah.
Because it makes money.
Yeah, and also, too, the opening for this film is very similar to the opening of Terminator. Just the way it was kind of shot a little bit.
That's true. Yeah.
So obviously the worm scene is the most discussed aspect of the movie. Mm-hmm. Clark, the director, admits that Corman's insertion of the scene, which Clark immediately opposed, is what ultimately made the film a commercial success. Mm-hmm. O'Connell, in a separate interview with was it Femme Fatales magazine?
Yeah, Femme Fatales.
Yeah, Femme Fatales. Said that her character was frightened by her own sexual desire to completely submit to someone or something powerful. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, her fear was with that tentacle monster. All right. O'Connell also relates to the commenter how physically challenging the scene was and how the maggot prop made for the film, which weighed in at over a ton, almost collapsed on top of her at one point, which could have potentially killed her. And she said also, too, that apparently some of the worst part was the slime. Because she said the slime was so cold that it's like hard for her to like move around and stuff. So, that's some fun stuff about the film right there. Obviously, the cast of this one was definitely a cast of characters. You know what I mean? Yes. I mean, besides the two obvious ones when it comes to, you know, horror movies and stuff, obviously we had a young Robert Englund on here. I always like seeing a young Robert Englund. He always looks so full of life and energy.
I know.
And it's so funny to see him before Freddy, because there's like a before Freddy and then there's like after Freddy. You know?
So I was going to bring that up. Yeah. So in a way, I feel like the role of Freddy Krueger ruined Robert Englund's career.
A little bit.
Because that guy is it also made it, but I mean, think about it though. I mean, Robert Englund is a fucking good actor.
Yeah.
But everything he did after Nightmare on Elm Street, it was just, that's the Freddy Krueger guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like he compares every role he has after that, he's compared to Freddy Krueger. But I mean, he's a hell of an actor. He's really fucking good in this.
Yeah. Of course, we had Sid Haig, Captain Spogling, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was on here doing his thing. And I like this one.
I was trying to figure out what we'll talk about it, but I was trying to figure out what the hell his character is supposed to be. Is he like a ninja?
He's like a ninja crystal guy. Well, crystals are his life.
That's true. Okay.
He only had one line. That was basically it. So I like this one. I had to bring it up. My boy Zelman King was on here.
Yeah.
He was the guy who played Balon, kind of like the asshole leader guy, who just wanted to, every time somebody would die, he would just shoot him. All right?
Yeah, the mustached guy.
No. The mustached guy was the Cameron. He was the main guy. All right, Balon, he was the curly hair, nice face guy, clean face.
Is he not the? Okay, maybe I think those guys look very similar to each other.
Yeah, Edward Albert is the guy who played Cameron, who is the mustache guy.
Maybe I'm confused. Is Balon not the guy that's like incinerating all the body parts every time he sees them?
Yeah, but he didn't have a stash. I thought he had a clean face.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't remember that correctly. I thought those two guys looked very similar to each other. But anyway, go ahead.
Zalman King, he is best known for doing some late night HBO television show, The Red Shoes Diary, brother. He
with
made that
Fox Mulder.
With Fox Mulder on there. I could not believe that. This is the creator of
Red Shoe Diaries.
Of the Red Shoes Diary, which we talked about before here on the podcast.
He had done a lot of other sexy movies. He did 9.5 Weeks. He wrote 9.5 Weeks, and he wrote well, it doesn't matter. He wrote another movie like that I can't think of right now. But yeah, I actually listened to a 2-hour podcast about Zalman King the other day, which is why I knew all this stuff.
There you go.
But yeah, he was the guy that created Red Shoe Diaries, and now he was apparently also an actor.
Yeah,
because he had like every once in a while you'll see a movie from this time period that he's like starring in, which is kind of weird.
So we also have Grace on here.
Yes, Grace
Zabriskie. Obviously, she's best known for Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Great little show that I actually haven't finished yet.
Oh, wow. Right. Okay. We'll talk about that on the show when you finish it.
Yes. And obviously, we have Bernard, all right, on here as well. A British-Canadian actor. He was playing the Master, all right, over here. Beautiful Dreamers.
I mean, he was in The Changeling.
The Changeling, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Which is also we did on the show.
Yep. I knew he looked familiar. So that's the guy we were doing. But yeah, I mean, what a cast. I mean, like, I thought everybody did a great job with their characters and everything. We also had the ship's cook.
Yeah, Ray Walston.
He was on there too. He was the one that was the master, my bad. The Commander Ivar, he was I'm retired. Why am I here? I'm going down a sinkhole to die and get killed by Japanese sex demons.
Yeah, he's the I'm too old for this shit guy.
Yes. So, which was a great little character. All right. But, everybody, I say let's get into it. Let's get into the full review of the Galaxy of Terra.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for the ultimate battle. Galaxy of Terror. Kel has just been relocated. It orbits a burned-out star at the edge of the galaxy.
They're out there.
It's been waiting 1 billion years to scare you to death. Trapped in a living maze of terror.
What are the odds of us getting out of here?
What are the odds? Stranded astronauts Edward Albert and Erin Moran battle hordes of hideous shadow demons, encounter a razor-sharp living glass, brave the pit of doomed souls, just to discover the only way out is death. Galaxy.
All right, so we start off looking like Terminator, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
We have these slow-moving credits where the camera is like going this way. You know what I mean? If you on the podcast, I'm kind of moving side by side. All right, If you guys can't see what my motions right here. But I always like that. That's kind of like a Terminator James Cameron type of deal where he moves the camera just like that kind of slowly. So we're on the planet Morgoth. I think I said that right.
Sure.
All right. And there's this monster that kills the last surviving people of a crashed spaceship. All right.
Yeah.
So this is when we see the scene of some old lady playing like some sort of Atari game or whatever with the master, who has like a sun face. Face sun. He has a dot on his face. Sun.
They don't really explain this to us at all, but yeah, he has like a face, a sun for a face. Yeah.
So he gets excited because I guess it's his turn to play this game. So he takes over the mission, and the old lady's like, "Well, it's gonna kill everybody." He's like, "Well, I know, but we have to do this." So he tells the commander. This part kind of really reminded me of Star Wars on here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where the commander is talking to the almighty Palpatine. All right.
Okay.
And the commander is basically saying like, okay, I'm going to pick out the crew members and I want you to send this particular crew out to this world. All right. To investigate. All right. So he's basically, the master is playing like, it's like a chess game. All right. With Midra. All right. The old lady.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And she also says that you doing this game is going to ruin you. All right. But he has to do it.
And he kind of controls the people.
Yeah.
Right. That's how humans are now, I guess. They're being controlled by this person they call the master.
Yes.
Yeah. The movie doesn't explain any of this to us, really. It just kind of happens.
Now, is it the master of the universe?
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Nothing. Okay.
I'm guessing so. He has the power.
There you go, the power, bro. The quest. So now we're meeting the crew of the quest. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is when we meet the captain. The girl from Twin Peaks.
Yes.
She apparently is the survivor of a space disaster that left her pretty much scarred. Because everybody kept asking her like, well, what happened with this Mongrose and stuff? She's like, she didn't want to talk about it. All right.
Yeah. Apparently, everybody was killed but her, and she piloted the ship back by herself.
So I could tell why she's not a great captain, because she's all like, okay, we're going off right now. It's like, well, you didn't like check anything. Like, we're the Starfleet records. We gotta have this checklist of getting out of the galaxy, brother. Haven't you seen Star Trek? There's a whole list you gotta go through to go to warp speed.
Exactly. I can see how your previous mission ended in failure, and you were the only person to survive.
Because like we have Iron, the old guy, who's like, first she asked him, "Why are you here?" He's like, "Well, fuck, I haven't been on a mission in like 20 years, so that's why I'm here." And then she's like, "Okay, well, we're setting sail right now, all right, or setting to space, whatever you call it."
Right.
And he's all like, well, fuck, we don't got any time to prepare. I got this whole checklist. She's like, no, we're going right now. Hit the button. So all the crew, this is when we see all the crew scatter and everything. We can see
she doesn't even wait for them to sit down.
No, nothing.
No, they're all running to try to get to a seat before they take off into light speed or whatever.
I did like the scene where we see young Freddy trying to get into his chair, but he couldn't. So he just goes into the blonde girl's lap.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We see that Baerlon doesn't like Cauldron, all right, because Cauldron's bringing his squeeze on board. He's like, oh, we don't need one of those on here, all right. And then they all take off. So they take off. It's kind of bumpy. They go through time, space odyssey time, all right. They get to the planet. She's all happy, but then chaos happens where they can't control the ship. All right, so the ship is moving around and everything, and now it's being dragged kind of close more to the planet, and it basically, the ship is coming down, and it basically crash lands on this planet. Don't call me alien. All right, crashes on this planet, and then eventually the captain's like, all right, I got you here. Now you take control.
Right, and it's very alien-like in that they're being controlled by something outside that makes them go investigate this other crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have the crew right now is gonna go do some researching outside, and apparently in this universe you don't need a fucking space helmet, brother. You just walk out there and take the toxic gas.
I noticed that too. It's just like fuck it. We breathe whatever this is.
There's
all planets have the same atmosphere. Apparently.
Yeah, there's no brother. We're not checking records for anything on this fucking movie.
No.
We're not taking any precautions. We're just gonna get you a Ghostbusters backpack with some lights on it. All right.
I'm wondering if possibly the reason they didn't do that is because they couldn't shoot through their faces through the helmets.
Probably.
Plus, also that's a pretty big expense.
Yeah,
but I mean the suits look pretty expensive for what they were. I thought not expensive, but I thought they looked good for the amount of money they spent on them.
So they start researching the whole planet. This is when we can kind of see like the film's like set designs really cool on the planet. This is when it starts looking really cool. Because other than that, we just got the spaceship and all this CGI stuff. That's like really early 1980s effects.
CGI. Those are our own models, but
yeah. So they could see that this massacre took place on here because like there's like a jump scare and the guy shoots the body. All right, Balon, he always shoots every body that comes in contact. So they are going to take one of the bodies back and try to analyze it. But we have the young crew member, Koss. All right. He's been terrified. Apparently he wasn't briefed about the mission earlier. He is like, what's the ones that died on Star Trek? Was it the red? Was it the yellow suits or the red suits? He's like the cannon
the red
fobber.
Suits.
The red suits. Yeah.
The red shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a red shirt Star Trek member who gets killed first. All right. Because basically we can kind of see that they are getting stalked by, I thought it was like a, what do you call that thing? It wasn't the maggot one, but it looked like a, kind of like a rodent, kind of like I forgot what you call them. Kind of like a rodent kind of deal. All right. Like a grasshopper almost. It's kind of like an alien grasshopper. All right. And he's freaking out. Everybody's like, why is this guy freaking out? And then he eventually vanishes and he gets killed by that grasshopper's tentacles. All right. So after all this stuff happens, the crew kind of discovers that they are kind of near like this pyramid structure. Okay. And since they got pulled in there, they can't get the Quest, which is their ship. They can't get it to lift off. All right. So they're going to be leaving the ship. All right. And this is when they kind of approach the structure. All right. So we have Cauldron, Balorn, Alora, Dimitri, and Kuheg. I hope I said everybody's name right. I probably didn't.
I have no idea how to say any of these names, so sure.
So Kuhog that's Sig's character. All right.
He's the ninja.
He's the one with the ninja stars. Apparently his whole being is he lives and dies by the crystals, brother. All right?
He does love crystals.
He's basically like a Los Angeles native. All right. Where he loves and dies by the crystals, brother, if you know what I'm talking about. All right.
I feel like Sid Haig is a really good actor. And, he was a famous actor to me before he was in House of a Thousand Corpses. And he's completely wasted here. He barely has any lines at all.
Nothing. Yeah, like one line.
I think he had one line, yeah.
And it looks like Cauldron, he's kind of like with them, like he feels his spirit and stuff. So basically what happens is they were trying to stop this door from closing, but the door was too powerful, so it broke his little crystal ninja stars. He got all upset. They're telling him, just use this fucking gun. He's like, I can only use crystals. So he goes back out. He looks at his crystals. It looks like he's about to snort it. All right. But he's not. So the crystals eventually turn on him, brother. They go into his arm. They kind of go. I thought this scene was pretty cool. So
wait a minute. That's after he throws them into the door, though. Right?
Yeah, I told you about that. They throw him into the door and they get all shattered, and he gets all butty.
Right.
He gets all butthurt. He didn't want to take the gun, so he goes back out and tries to
get the crystal back or whatever.
He wanted to cry over his crystals. All right.
Yes. I thought this scene looked fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize it's just latex rubber probably, but with the piece of the crystal going up into his arm, looked really fucking good.
Yeah. So yeah, it goes on there and it cuts off his arm basically.
He cuts off his arm, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He cuts off his own arm to keep it from going up to wherever it's going to go. Yeah. But I did want to say, I don't know if you've ever met him before at a convention, but Sid Haig, I met him many times. He was one of the nicest people I'd ever met in my life. He was incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
great guy. So after he cuts off his own arm, the crystal's hand turns heel on him and throws it and kills him in the chest.
Yes.
Because that was his own. So was that supposed to be his own worst fear? Was getting crystal meth?
Sorry, you choked me up there. I guess like they don't really explain that.
They kind of explain it. They explain it at the end.
Oh well, that's true. They do explain at the end that these are all their fears. But yeah, his fear, I guess, is that the crystals are going to turn on him.
There you go. So during this, we have the captain and now we have the cook, and they're talking. They don't go on the mission together. They're just out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the captain's all like, you know what? You know what they call a cook, right? They say a captain is sent here by the master. They say a cook is sent here by the devil. Ooh.
That's kind of weird and aggressive, but okay.
Yeah. And the cook was sitting there like, this girl's a crazy fucking bitch. All right. But then he was, but you could tell that the cook had something. He was hiding something. All right. Mm-hmm. And then they called in young Freddy and they all ate together. All right. While all this shit's going on. So now the crew members that are on exploring the pyramid, they eventually wrap around to go try to find Sig. They find him. He's dead. And then Berlon just shoots his ass. Takes care of him. All right. So now they all decide to split up. Always a great idea. And this is when Commander Ivar discovers an opening alongside of the pyramid. Ivar investigates over the objects of his two young counterparts. And for some reason, when he looks into the tunnel, he starts like doing like poetry and shit. You know what I mean?
I know, for some reason. Because he's a artist, I guess, at heart.
And he's also talking about how old he was for all this shit too. And I think he was trying to hit on the blonde girl, which I don't blame him.
I don't blame him at all.
So he's being lowered. And now this is when he's like lowering down the level. And of course the rope gets all fucked up. So they try to grab the rope and everything. And now Ivar, apparently his darkest fear is being killed by a Japanese sex tentacle anime monster.
Apparently.
So I don't know what he was doing in his younger years, brother. But he must have been crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So now, after he dies, this is where the crew links up together. All right. And this is actually when the whole Quahog crystal disaster happened. All right. And after he gets blown up and stuff, Aluma starts sensing something's unusual. Gee, 2 people dead. I'm pretty sure there are some shit's going on.
Something's going on, I think.
Yeah. So basically, they sent back the tentacle person herself. All right, Demia, to send back to the entrance. All right. And then Demia discovers Q has severed arm being swarmed by maggots. She blasts the arm and staggers off. One surviving maggot grows to the giant size. All right. And then when Demina returns to the chamber, this is when she's basically about to return to the chamber. And this is when the monster comes up behind her, grabs her with all the tentacles. At first, I thought he was just going to like take her and eat her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then somehow it dissolves her clothes.
It kind of. Yeah. I wasn't sure. It looked like it was kind of just pulling them off, but they kind of do disappear.
So it basically designed her clear. She's all naked. We can see a little titty, little butt. And then it proceeds to grind on her. And then it humps for like 2 minutes, stops, freeze frame a little bit, and then we cut the scene.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Because remember, we had to edit it down.
Yes, we had to edit it
more
down.
originally.
Yes.
Because we had more scenes of her in kind of acting like she was enjoying it against her will.
Yes. Very interesting. And that is the water cooler moment of the film.
Yes.
So we're on the ship. Crew member Ranger sees Trantor, which is the ship's captain, running as if being attacked. Trantor combusts as she fires a weapon into an airlock because she's crazy now. Because basically with her character is she's so traumatized from her previous mission that she thinks that the creature is back to get her. So she was shooting all these fire cannons. The cook was just looking at her like she was crazy, letting her do all this stuff. All right. And then she basically, without doing any safety protocols, because we already kind of established that, she just opens up the airlock, shoots, and that's how she combusts. And and young Freddy watched the whole thing.
Right. So do you think that the reason that when you watch this, you're like, why would this person be the captain of the ship? Because one, she's obviously crazy.
Yes.
And two, she doesn't do any safety protocols. Do you think though that the master chose her so that all these other things would happen?
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? Like he chose her because he knew that a real captain who wasn't crazy would not let them go down on the planet like that.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Well, remember, he chose all these crew members because this is like a game to see who would survive their worst fears and shit.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I'm probably thinking about this movie more than the people who made it. I realize that, but still.
So now the remaining team, they find Demian's naked remains, and Baylor just shoots her up. So there she goes. All the surviving quest members return to the pyramid now. All right, where Balon elects to stay behind and is torn apart by a monster. So basically what happened was after they blew up Dementia, they all go back to the ship. They all realize the captain's dead. The only people they have remaining in there was young Freddy and the cook. All right, they all they want to get out of there, but they can't because their ship is stuck. So maybe they're like, okay, well, let's go back to the pyramid. Maybe we can find something within there that's holding the ship down, and then we can let it go and we can get out of here. All right. But Balon, he doesn't like any of this plans and stuff. And he's constantly going back and forth. All right. With Calden. All right. And eventually they kind of blow up to each other. And then Balon leaves. And then eventually he gets killed by the Japanese sex demon. And it throws him down space and time.
Down that. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you call that? Cliff, I guess.
I will call it a cliff, sure.
So now they're inside the pyramid. We have Oluma, Ranger, which is young Freddy. Cameron are separated by moving walls. All right. Ranger feels rush of terror and before being attacked by a double. All right. So basically what's going on right now is the cook's also there. And he kept showing them like this door that would open and close a bunch of times. And eventually that door would make like this like triangle thing. All right.
Yes.
And now everybody is kind of like some of their fears are starting to come up. So we see Ranger, he freaks out a little bit. He actually takes some of his frustrations out on Corbin, telling him Corbin never listens to him, pays attention, blah, 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 whatever. All right. All I can say is, young Freddy, you'll be okay. All right.
Yeah, he'll make it.
You'll make it. You'll make it, kid. All right. And this is when they're in like the whole scenery of this movie is really cool. Like they're in like these levels. All right.
Yeah.
And you can see like the pyramid structures and stuff. Like the way they did like the whole effects of the green scheme were like really cool. They're in this one part where they're all kind of talking. It looks like it's kind of slanted with all these like little like holes in the wall.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Like how it's kind of an optical illusion the way he made that on the floor and they're standing up above it. It just looks awesome.
Really cool. So Ranger feels like they're being stalked and stuff like that. But basically Ranger was being stalked because he was being stalked by his own self.
Yes.
So we have, before we got Jason versus Freddy, we got Freddy versus Freddy, brother.
Yes, we did.
Before he was burnt. All right. Come on now.
I was thinking of that too. This was like Freddy facing himself or whatever.
Yeah. So he's starting to fight himself a lot. All right. Aluma and Colbert. So basically, Aluma, she's like, I need to get out of here. Well, no shit.
No shit.
She's like, I don't like this place. I was
No
like,
kidding.
well, fuck. I mean, what do you expect? You're going to a fucking alien pyramid. What the hell do you think was going to happen?
What? Yeah, what do you think's going to happen?
So she gets, they basically go through this tunnel that looks like a butthole. All right.
Yes.
And eventually, Aluma and Colbert, they get separated. And she's going through this other tunnel, which now she gets wrapped up and killed by the Japanese sex tentacle demon. That crushes in her head while she's calling out for Cameron to fucking help her. Of course, Cameron sees it. He's all upset now. Young Freddy beat his young Freddy self because it was an optical illusion. He was just fighting himself. All right. And now, Colburn is upset and stuff. And this is when Cameron now figures out that these monsters are attacking people because of the fears that they have inside. And then inside the pyramid, the two of them meet Core, the captain, the ship's captain. Remember? He's the one that was like looking at the other captain like she was crazy during the whole time. And you could tell he was up to something. Well, guess what, brother? It was a swerve. Because Core was the master the whole time.
Wow. And he would have got away with it, too, if it weren't for these kids.
The damn kids and that dog. He would have got away with it. So Core explains to us that this right here is an old alien race's kids game. All right. It was a pyramid of an ancient toy for the children of a long exact race built to test their abilities to control fear. And he said, I was the winner of one of those games, and that's how I became the master. All right, brother? That's right. Overcoming
Makes
your
perfect
fears,
sense.
brothers. All right? Cameron is all like, did you have to kill everybody? All right. And
did you have to kill everybody to overcome your fears?
And then Core was like, oh, yeah, that's how the fucking game works, asshole.
And that's how it works. That's the rules.
And then Core was like, all right, you are doing really well because you got to the final level of this video game. Now you must fight all the bosses. So
it's like a video game.
It's like a video game. So Core, like, he disappears, right? And then that's when we get the Japanese sex monster. That's when we get the maggot monster. Cameron he must have got the stone of invincibility. All right. And starts beating all these monsters' asses to overcome him. He now sees his whole crew members dead. Kind of like we did in Slaughter High. Remember that? And everybody was dead and they came after him at the end because it was a dream. This one wasn't a dream, though. This is real. All right, brother. So they're coming at him, right? And we can see them all. We can see, like, the whole crew. They're all, like, maggoted and shit like that. Look really cool. All right? They don't win. And then the ship now tricks Cameron to have Allura, all right? Tease him for a little kiss. But before she can kiss him, she grabs him by the throat. He rips off her chest thing, revealing that she's a creature of the night. All right? Then she eventually just lets him go and he just shoots her. All right? So after he successfully beat all the final bosses, he now sees the cook, who is the master. He's now the master is basically saying that, I'm an old man. You are going to inherit the powers of the universe by having a red dot and stuff around your face. Okay? And he was going to he's basically saying that Cameron's like, okay, what if I refuse it? He's like, well, if you refuse it, your whole planet and shit's going to die. Because you have to be a slave to the masters. So he said the master, his power is invincible, but we are like the vessels for it.
Right.
But if you refuse it and stuff, your planet and all your shit's gonna die. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, we don't think Cameron's gonna. So the cook guy was all like, "Oh, I don't think you're gonna kill me." And then Corman's like, "Well, maybe I'll just shoot you with some belly lasers."
That's the best kind.
Have you ever seen anybody die via belly lasers before?
No, I think it's a first for us for sure.
Because we've seen on this show, we've seen a lot of lasers. I love 80s lasers when they add that to the movies. But I've never seen anybody's lasers shoot from their belly.
No, we don't get belly lasers a lot, but I really like that they did that for this movie.
So, Cohen's dying words expressed doubt that Cameron will manage to change his fate. All right? Cameron angers, kills with the belly lasers, and now Cameron is now the master. All right? Wherefore, the master himself cannot die. All right? And now he's the new planet's master, and that's when we end Galaxy of Terror, brother. All right?
Yep.
Great movie. I liked it. That was great. Fantastic.
This movie's great. I mean, I was wondering what you were going to think about it. I haven't seen this in many, many years.
Yeah.
So I also didn't know if I would like it as much as I used to, but I actually think I like it better. Like, I love this movie. It's not for everybody, for sure, but I do love this movie.
Yeah. So, very fun. This is going to be a really fun month. I can feel it. We got some fun ones for everybody. So,
yes.
But yeah, this one right here, it definitely would be something in my rotation. This is definitely something I would collect, get merchandise from. I liked it. I thought it was really fun. So definitely a one to keep in the books.
Also, before we move on, I did want to say that some people say that there's a sequel to this movie called Forbidden World.
Okay.
But I don't know that it's truly a sequel, but they did use the same sets to make the movie the next year.
There you go.
But Corman made a movie called Forbidden World the next year, which I've never actually seen. But it uses the same sets, but some people do say it's a sequel to this movie, but I don't know for sure that 100% that it is.
Well, it's cool that you said that, because
what a coincidence.
Next week, we will explore to see if it really is a sequel, because we will be doing Forbidden World.
Yes.
On the show. And then we're going to pivot, all right, to Horror Planet. All right.
Horror Planet, yes.
Horror Planet.
And
then we're going to end with another James Cameron film, Aliens.
So when you brought up Horror Planet,
yes,
I was not familiar with that.
Yep.
But I am familiar with it under a different name, Inseminoid.
There we go.
It's a British movie.
Yeah, there you go. It should be fun. We got to pivot here and there. I was thinking about doing the Terror Within, but Horror Planet. Yeah, we'll just do that because it kind of fits the month. Right
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many sci-fi 80s fucking films, bro.
We're gonna come back to this for years to go.
For years, so. But everybody, hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, we didn't do any history, so no music right now. But come and join us next week as the Retro Blood continues. Remember to like us here on YouTube, Spotify, podcast, like it, subscribe. If we missed anything, comment below. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. We can take it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us what y'all like. If y'all have any horror movie suggestions or reviews and stuff, or just want to talk about maybe your stories, I can read on the air. It's retroblood69@gmail.com.
Yes.
And
if you have experience with any of these movies, write us and let us know. We'll talk about it.
Or we'll talk about it. That'd be kind of fun. But like I said, everybody, join us here next week as we explore the Forbidden World.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
J.H. Alison, James Kline. We'll see you all next week on the Retro Blood.
See you guys.